Hey everyone, and welcome to Salt Project Community Open Hour for July 6th. Can you see my screen? Am I sharing it okay? Can you see it? Yes?
Yep.
All right, it's kind of there. I don't know what it is. My Zoom has decided it just does not like this deck for some reason. Salt Project Community Open Hour is now underway. I hope everybody that's in the United States anyway had a great 4th of July. We have a lot of people that are still off on summer vacation PTO today. So it's going to be a light meeting. It's going to be a quick one. We'll get to the Q&A real quick. Salt Project. Here's where you can find us: YouTube, GitHub, Slack, Reddit, LinkedIn, the Hacks, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And of course, I don't know if you've seen the news, but Threads launched. What was it, yesterday? Today? I just signed up. So for me, it's a brand new thing just this morning. But Threads, if you haven't checked it out, it is the new competitor to Twitter, launched by Meta. No hashtags. They've got a completely different algorithm, and it's already going very well. In fact, it's growing faster at this stage anyway than ChatGPT did. You can believe that. So soon, Salt Project will be on Threads as well. Here's what we're talking about today. What's that? I'm sorry, Gary, did you say something? No? Who did I miss? Go for it. No? All right. Here's what's going on today. General updates, Salt Project user group meetups. We have a new website, which we're going to be talking about briefly. We'll check in with community forums with our mate, Thomas Phipps, and then of course, the Q&A. So let's get right to it. Open hour happens every first and third Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time. It's 11 a.m. to noon Mountain time. You can do the math from there. Our next Salt Project Community Open Hour is going to be on Thursday, July 20th. Plus, we need testing. We need you to find bugs, and I'm going to bribe you to do it. So general testing, we need more testing of our current salt release. That would be 3006.1. We need more and more testing. If you find a bug, let me know. We'll get you some swag, and we'll have you head to GitHub to file that PR. We'd also like to invite you to join a Salt Project working group, saltproject.io/home/working. We've got a bunch of them. You can go check them out there. Salt Project user group meetups are a thing. They are happening. These are single one-day events with speakers, recorded sessions, food, networking. Nick Hughes, our buddy Nick Hughes, is a guy that's the point man on that. Salt Project user group meetups, or SPUGM for short. That's SPUGM.com. Go to SPUGM to learn more about how you can attend a Salt Project user group meetup in person. Okay, so big news. We have a new website. We have a new Salt Project website. It looks very similar to the old broken saltproject.io website. We've moved the site away from WordPress. It's a new Hugo-based static site. It's live, but we are still populating the contents of this site. So while it's up and it's working, we're still missing a community calendar, for example. The community calendar, from the time I took over this position, has been the bane of my existence, and continues to be so today. So we're still working on some things. I think the hacks, for the most part, is there. We're still working on getting blogs, CVE releases, release notes, that sort of stuff in the site. As I'm sure you can imagine, everything's got to be carried over and then reformatted and the whole thing. So it's taken a minute. Thank you for your patience. If you're looking for certain resources that are not available on the Salt Project website, you can still go to the Salt Project community Slack, Salt on GitHub, Salt documentation, the Salt install guide, the Salt user guide, VMware ARIA automation config, which is formerly Salt Stack Enterprise. You can go there. And of course, the Item Project website at itemproject.io. While it is not part of Salt Item Project, it is a sibling to Salt, and so you can find similar stuff there. And you can also get to the Salty store there through itemproject.io. There will be a lot more stuff coming to saltproject.io. So again, thanks for your patience. We're working on it every single day, and it's already running better than the former site did. Okay, so let's hand it over to Thomas Phipps, find out what's happening in our community forums.
Basically had a user looking to find a way to have a minion find out what other minions are in a particular node group. And they were looking for something that just put out a list. Well, the only thing that can do that would be one of the runners, like manage.up or manage.status. However, to get that to a minion, you need to enable peer run, which if you've never heard of peer run before, be thankful. Peer run is basically allowing a minion to run runners off of the master. It is semi-secure in that it has ACLs, but if you can avoid using peer run, please do. It is basically, if you do not get the permissions right, you are opening up your master to be a puppet to minions. And if a minion gets compromised, you might as well be saying, hey, here's my entire salt environment.
Yikes. Hey, actually, there's a question in here for you, Thomas, from Hunter. So what is the right way to get a list of node groups or memberships?
The right way would actually be using mine. Just any mine that all of the minions will return with. When mine returns, it returns with a list of every minion that matches, and it will match on node groups. I've double checked that. So it'll return with the host and any data associated with it. You loop over that and just ignore the data because you have your list of minions. There are no examples right now. I can probably bash one up. Just not in this call. Hit me up on Slack and I'll get you an example.
All right. Is that it for you, Thomas?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Round of applause for Thomas Phipps. As I like to call him, Old Reliable. He's here every week. Thank you, man, for helping us out. I'm taking a look at the chat here. Do you guys want us on Mastodon? You want Salt Project on Mastodon?
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I should know it. I don't know it. Is this a good thing or is this Gary being cheeky?
No, this is where everyone went during the great Twitter migration back in November. There's like over 13 million users on Mastodon now.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm on there, and a ton of tech people are on there. And
is that right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, let me see. Making a note. Let me make a note really quick. It's a blind spot for me. So
the place Reddit users are looking to go is Discord. So get Mastodon going quickly.
Okay, Mastodon and Discord. Okay, well, we can definitely do that. That's why we have these meetings, right? So that you can propose this sort of stuff. I'm all about it.
Well, let's skip Discord probably though.
Yeah, I was saying get Mastodon going so we don't have to go to Discord.
Oh, so we don't have to do.
Yeah, we already have Slack. We already have a community Slack, and that's kind of what maybe
That's what it
Discord
is.
would be like.
The reason they were talking about this is because getting onto the Slack right now is difficult.
Okay.
If you don't have a Gmail or a VMware account.
Gotcha. Okay. Mastodon. The only thing I know about Discord is that's where that kid that was giving away all the classified docs was on Discord. That's the only thing I know about Discord. So, all right, I'll look into Mastodon. That's great. Okay, so moving right along, I believe because we have a light day, we're going straight to the Q&A. We are. Nick, Gary, Hunter, you guys flip a coin, see who wants to go first.
I nominate Nick.
Nick it is.
Gary, he's got the Salt Stack shirt on.
I'm just
go
here
for
to
it,
look
Nick.
pretty.
And you do, Gary. You look very pretty. I applaud you. All right, so yeah, let's start with Nick. Go for it, man.
I don't
No
know that
question?
there's a whole lot going on. Let me see here. There was somebody put in a pull request for DigitalOcean against Salt Cloud, and they're working through that process. But like realistically, sometime soon we'll probably break that out into a Salt extension. Once I get a little bit more time, I'm probably going to do a little blurb on here with Chunga's blessing about,
Of course.
some of the Salt extensions that we have breaking out into the community project, which is just Salt Dash extensions. There's a couple of repos that are popping up over there right now. Azure being probably the most mature extension in that list, because we've already pulled it out of the Salt code base. And Azure will not be in Salt 3007. So
Nick, if you want to put that in blog form, if you want to write a couple of bullets, we'll publish that as a blog too. We'll just put that on the site so that everybody can see it.
sounds good. Let's see if I have anything personal going on. I don't think so. I've only got a couple of PRs open and nothing really urgent.
Nice. I like that. That's good. Hunter does have a question. It's a saltproject.io question. It says, Hugo, why Hugo? What do you like about it? And what do you not? Well, simply put, Hunter, Hugo was something I knew nothing about. Nothing at all, but our WordPress site had been really problematic. This goes all the way back to 2019. I've been fighting with that site. So we just made a decision when it broke the last time. We said, look, let's make it a static website. It was the preferred platform of Elisa Rock, who's on PTO, and Derek. Shout out to Derek, who's here. It's also, if I'm not mistaken, some of you would probably know this better than I, but Hugo is kind of the de facto platform for open source community sites. That's just where everybody seems to want to go. I don't know it really well. I'm learning it. It's something that has been a great thing for me, because now I have to learn Git, and I have to, learn a couple of, I have to learn how to code more, which for me has been awesome and terrifying all at the same time. Yeah, Derek, why don't you just pop in for people that really for the YouTube audience that's going to be watching this later and won't have the benefit of the chat. Go ahead and hit us as to why Hugo's better.
Yeah, a lot of it is the requirements of the site. Really, the main site is really fits perfectly for a static site. We don't really necessarily need a CMS, a system running on some kind of infrastructure that we have to continuously monitor and update and maintain over time. Instead, we could have it sitting inside of a Git repository, working with markdown source files when it comes to blog posts or security announcements or podcast episodes with the hacks. And we're able to actually do a lot more automation in place with that. A lot of us are familiar with working with CI/CD, Git repositories, and yeah, like Chunga said too, it's become really a standard static site generator tool for a lot of open source projects that are out there. And Elisa has a great background in it due to her experience with the Godox project and other open source communities. And also, yeah, like I said, with the static site, it's really just a matter of making it available storage somewhere so that people can simply access it, since the content isn't dynamic based on the page that you're on. And we can do all sorts of cool stuff with it that without having the maintenance and maintainership burden. And yeah, it is the tool itself is Golang based, but if you're not necessarily doing anything too intense, you can kind of script and do whatever you'd like when it comes to the CI/CD around the tool itself and what it works with. So at the moment, go ahead.
Oh, no, go for it, Derek. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No, I saw a follow-up question about, hey, is it a repo right now that community members can make PRs to? At the moment, it's a private repository just maintained by us. Just because there are times where maybe there's an upcoming announcement or something else that is something that we'd want to have reviewed internally by the team and the likes, as opposed to going through a full public review process. It might change in the future, but at the moment, that's kind of how the current maintainership of that site is.
Yeah, the follow on to that would be my goal is very much to have that change. I would love to have this be a community forum where, yeah, like Nick was talking about with his extensions and the stuff he was talking about it with extensions. I think it'd be very cool for community members to just say, well, I've got something to say. I've done something cool with salt, and I'd like to go write a blog about it. You can still do that, by the way. You just take the blog and you just send it to me, and we can go ahead and get that published. But to me, I think it would be a wonderful thing to be able to have SALT community members just say, oh, I've got this new cool thing that I'm working on. I'd like to tell everybody about it. I'll go write a blog. And it's just up in there. I think that's been something that the core team has wanted, just an easier way to do blogs and produce content, and an easier way for the community to engage and get involved as well. So yeah, Derek's right. You can't do it yet, but that's definitely a goal. And again, we still have a little ways to go with it, getting everything up and running. The idea was to get this thing live, and when we took it live, Derek will tell you there wasn't much in there. So, but we at least got it up and running so that people weren't freaking out thinking that something had happened to SALT, which, no. Anyway, it's up. You can go check it out. And one thing that I forgot to mention, we were talking about it before, is the calendar, which, as I said, is a problem. In the meantime, be checking with Slack on important links, hyperlinks, like to attend open hour and things like that. And if you're looking for a link to attend a working group meeting, you can always reach out to me and I can point you in the right direction if you're needing the links to attend the Zoom links or whatever to attend those meetings. Okay, anything else? Anything from you, Jace or Hunter? Anything? Gary?
Yeah, just piggybacking off what Nick said. I don't know if they've actually done it yet, but Vulture was supposed to turn off their V1 API on June 30th. And so the Salt Cloud driver, if they have indeed turned it off, will no longer work. I got about 80% of the way writing a new Salt extension for Vulture, but it got stalled on other things and haven't finished it yet. But I will publish what I have. I will try and get back to it. But in the meantime, if anyone wants to continue work on it, because they use Vulture and they can't use it anymore, then feel free. I will post the link to the repo in the Salt extensions channel on Slack.
Gotcha.
Gary?
Thank you, Gary.
Two things. One, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but Tyler wrote a Vulture item provider like way back. And so there's like Python code out there that does stuff inside of Vulture. I don't know how great it is, or if he was using the new API or not, but it might be worth looking at.
Okay, I'll take a peek. I mean, I've got most of the functions written. I've basically got everything except the actual cloud driver, and it's like I think half done. But yes, I will take a look. I know item is the direction that things are moving. I just have not had time to absorb it yet or try it out. So
the other thing is, if you want to put in a Vulture needs to be deprecated issue in the Salt repo, somebody might grab that and do the things necessary in order to make sure that gets pulled out in a couple of versions. It's a good first issue tag type of deal.
okay.
Also, for the sake of the YouTube audience, Hunter posted a question in the chat. A couple of questions, actually. Reboot support. I just got a question from a colleague specifically. Is this minion needs a reboot? We have a bunch of responses coming into it. For some reason, the package updates / upgrades is that a multi-platform or platform distro specific? If somebody could answer that out loud, just for the sake of people watching after the fact, that'd be awesome.
Well, the minion reboot, that's typically to pick up configuration changes. We're having the minion go out and reread the configuration and pick up changes in the configuration. But OS reboots, that is getting to be distro applicable, like hot kernel patches and stuff. But occasionally you do get updates where it requires you to restart.
Okay, awesome.
So I don't think
Jeff.
that there's any current thing in place. I think I've seen some customers that have implemented their own custom execution or modules for that, you know, like, hey, get this reboot or whatever. But if we wanted to like write a module that does that, we would just have to take into account all the different OS variants that, you know, have some mechanism that says this needs a reboot.
But most of the Linux guys would be just reboot on the command line.
No, not to actually reboot it. What we're talking about is needs reboot, right? Like, does it need to be restarted? Have I updated a kernel that is not currently active?
Gotcha.
Things like that.
A status in status basically of, do I have to reboot
Yeah.
and why?
Yeah, there's.
I know there
support for
was
that
something for
on Windows.
Windows.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
reboot, there's a get pending reboot where it'll determine if the system's in a pending reboot status. You'd have to add those to like the system module for the other OSs. And then create a state that would handle them all.
Okay, anything else? Hunter, you're satisfied there, sir? Jeff, you're satisfied? Everything's good? Okay. Any other questions? Anything at all?
I think I saw one earlier by Vic. What was he asking? I think he was asking about Heist.
Well, let me see.
I've been poking around at Heist and trying to run the whole stack as a normal user. Big thanks to Megan for helping me with it and figuring out why it doesn't work. Any idea how far in queue is fixing the issues that currently prevent that from working? I don't know if Megan or someone else can speak to that.
The salt file thing? Is that what you're referring to, Vic?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I created that issue. It's just not on the highest priority right now. I would probably say get to it in the next couple months. I think that was the only issue we found, right? And I would say the issue you originally ran into, we should keep open because we shouldn't be stack tracing there. We should catch that and print out a better error. So it's certainly on my radar. It's not the highest priority right now.
Hunter asks, is Heist to replace Salt SSH completely, or is Heist Salt Heist just for deploying Salt?
That's certainly the goal eventually, but we don't want to make that decision until we get high salt more on par with Salt SSH.
Gotcha. Okay, anything else as part of our Q&A? I'm always quick, you know, I'm quick to say anything else so that we're not all staring at each other like a divorced couple at Thanksgiving dinner, right? That's so forgive me if I'm stomping on anybody. I like to keep it quick. If there's no other questions, Shane Lee has returned. The residency continues after a brief hiatus. He's back. If there's no other questions, Shane, play us out, man.
Well, how was it last time? Was it good? How'd he do?
Yeah, I was great. I don't mind telling you.
Oh, it was you that had to do it.
I had to come off the bench. I was great. I had a riddle. It was a Father's Day riddle, and somebody answered it immediately, and the thing was ruined. It was ruined immediately. So I did terrible, truth be told. But go for it. You're up.
Well, you mentioned Father's Dad, made me think of my dad. You know, he used to always say the first rule of theater is to always leave them wanting more. And he was just such a good man, my dad. A horrible anesthetist, but a good man.
So stupid. Shane Lee, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. All right. I'm looking. For those that have the camera on, I didn't even see a smile crack other than me. Not one person even smiled. All right, that's your open hour. Thanks, everybody. Good luck with your working groups. If you haven't joined one, do so. And we need more testing. And we'll get the site where it needs to be. We're working on it every single day. By the way, huge shout out to Derek and Elisa for doing the heavy lifting on that thing. They're doing a great job, and I'm very, very grateful. So everybody have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on the 20th. Bye, everybody.